the music that we were using was a specific. So George had always wanted to use Claire de Lune because I think that piece of music just, I mean, in my opinion, that piece of music is kind of the structure of the whole movie, right? It's not a traditional narrative structure. It's just kind of layers on top of layers on top of layers that kind of mix together and rhyme, but aren't necessarily, there's not like necessarily a specific narrative drive. It's a tone poem, right? So that was kind of the fabric of the whole movie. When we discovered that, and he was intent on using that in the movie, but then another Netflix television show used, a space show used that same thing and came out like a month before us. And I was grateful because I knew that would give Alexandre Desplat a chance to do something, you know, that also tied into everything, into the rest of his score, which he did. But right. Yeah. So, and then the other thing with the sound design, I had this idea that as the conversation kept going with them, that the static between them would become more and more and more and more, so that by the end, like in my mind, it was like as he was kind of slipping away and dying, and these are the kinds of, you know, it's all kind of swimming in his head, the reality and the illusion, or whatever he's going through inside. That static would take over, and then we'd be gone, would turn into the wind, etc. Yeah. And so we had that, and then we also had the VFX team. We had been gradually adding all these dark and scary skies to a lot of the shots to show that, you know, that the air was that was closing in on them. Yeah. And so those final shots, we had added all these like really scary looking clouds, and like you could see these red, red shafts of light coming through. I mean, it looked horrible. And what happened was, the first time we showed the scene, the music was very, very subtle and playing down below. The voices hadn't been affected yet. We were just playing the dialogue straight. We weren't affecting them at all yet. And we were using the set, which was just, you know, which had the colors of the way they are now, which is just a very subtle kind of just before dawn feeling, of very soft colors, very beautiful looking. Yeah. And we were really close to being done. And then during the mix, luckily the mixers, and George wasn't feeling weird about it, but the mixers had a great idea. They just reversed what I had done. And instead of, because we knew it wasn't working, and instead of creating more and more static, they actually started to erase all of that, so that the scene becomes about them being as close as they've ever been, right, in this moment.
And I'm Iris.
I know.
And then the same thing with those skies. We realized, hey, let's get rid of all the dark clouds. And this was from feedback from people. People were saying, yeah, the film doesn't seem that hopeful at the end. It doesn't. And we just couldn't figure it out. And then we were like, yeah, it's these skies. These skies look horrible. He should be looking at
all the other elements as well going on.
Exactly. And so by just changing those two elements, and then pushing in out the new score, we got back to, we were able to essentially get back to that very first assembly where we felt that thing in its rawest form.